This is a sports catastrophe production. Hey there, Heather Ho there. It's Jeff Cutter welcoming you to another sports catastrophe on this date. And on this day, July 9th, 2002, the Major League Baseball All-Star Game ended in a tie. Yes, it was not good for baseball, with the All-Star Game ending in a tie. So anyhow, the city of Milwaukee will get the All-Star Game because a couple years prior, they had a new stadium called Miller Park, which took the place of good old Milwaukee County Stadium. So anyway, the American League and National League were battling each other in a match. Now, the All-Star Game didn't really have much meaning. It was just like getting some players to play and all that. So anyway, there was actually a battle. This was the first year that Major League Baseball said that the fans would vote in the last player on the rosters, both teams having 30 players. Johnny Damon took home the American League honors, beating Jim Thome and Miguel Ordonez. National League Andrew Jones took care of Larry Walker and Albert Pujols in the voting, which kind of sucked. Anyway, so the American League had some good players. So these are the pitchers who did not pitch. Well, they weren't the starters. Well, Mark Burley, Roy Halladay, Pedro Martinez, Freddie Garcia, Eddie Guardado, Mo Rivera, Kaz Sasaki, and Barry Cito were the American League pitchers. Now, Pedro was hurt and was replaced by his Red Sox teammate Urgaf Ubina from Expos closer. The National League's pitchers were Eric Gagne, Trevor Hoffman, Byung Kim, Tom Glavine, Randy Johnson, Matt Morris, Odalis Perez, John Smoltz, and Mike Williams. The problem with the National League is that three of their pitchers were hurt. Glavine, Randy Johnson, and Matt Morris couldn't compete. So Rob Nunn of the Giants, Vincent Padilla of the Phillies, and Mike Remlinger of the Braves were given their spots. All-Star reserves. The American League had A.J. Przinsky of the Twins at the time, Paul Konerko of the White Sox, Mike Sweetie of the Royals, Tony Batista of the Orioles, Blue Jay fans were not happy with that, Robin Ventura of the Yankees. Imagine, Robin Ventura in a Yankee uniform. Nomar from the Red Sox, Derek Jeter, Yankees, Miguel Tejada from the A's, Omar Vizquel from the Tribe, Gary Anderson from the Angels, Johnny Damon from the Bull Sox, Robert Fick from the Tigers, and Randy Wynn of the Devil Rays. It's important to know that baseball said that one player from each American League and National League team must compete and all that. The NHL did that for years. The National League's reserves were Damian Miller of Arizona, Benito Santiago of the Giants, Reggie Sexton of the Brew Crew, Junior Spivey of the Diamondbacks, Luis Castillo of the Marlins, Mike Lowell from the Marlins, Jose Hernandez from the Brewers, Lance Berkman of the Astros, Adam Dunn of the Reds, Lugo, as in Luis Gonzalez, from the Diamondbacks, Sean Green from the Dodgers, and Andrew Jones of the Braves. So the starting lineups were this. Then the American League, the road team, of course, because it's in a national park, started Derek Lowe on the mound from Boston. Derek Lowe actually made a massive transition from closer to starter. All that. At catcher was Jorge Posada of the Yankees. The infield, Jason Giambi at first, Alfonso Soriano at second, Shea Hildebrand at third, surprise, surprise, and A-Rod at shortstop. The outfield was Manram in left, Torrey Hunter in center, and Ichiro in right field. The National League countered with their starting pitcher was Curt Schilling of the Diamondbacks, Mike Piazza behind the plate, first base Todd Helton, second base Jose Vidro of the Expos. Wow. Third base Scott Rowland, fourth base shortstop Jimmy Rollins, and the outfield Barry Bonds in left, Vladdy Guerrero played center, and Sammy Sosa in right. So anyway, it was kind of a boring game. The National League was up 1-0 after 2 innings. However, it could have been different. The 1-0 lead could have gotten in the first inning when Barry Bonds took a massive swing at a Derek Lowe fastball and hit a home run. Or so he thought. Torrey Hunter made a spectacular catch, robbing Bonds of an all-star home run. Bonds would actually come to the outfield and playfully pick up Torrey Hunter as it actually took the field the next inning. That actually did score after Vladdy Guerrero was scored on a ground ball out by Mike Piazza. And then in the third, Todd Helton got an RBI single, scoring Jimmy Rollins. Barry Bonds got a 2-run hit to make it 4-0. And the American League were dead meat. But in the fourth, man ran RBI single. No big deal. And then Alfonso Soriano hit a home run off Eric Gagne in the 5th inning. Surprised that they put Eric Gagne for the 5th inning. David Miller of the Diamondbacks got an RBI double to make it 5-2. But the AL put up 4 runs in the 7th. Gary Anderson had an RBI ground out. Tony Batista RBI single, and then Paul Konerko went for a 2-run double, made it 6-5. But the National League would score 2 in the 7th thanks to Lance Berkman's 2 RBI single. But Omar Vizquel hit an RBI triple to tie the game. No team could score in the 9th or the 10th. But there was a problem, as the American League and National League were running out of pitchers. Vincent Padilla and Freddie Garcia were the only pitchers left. And in the 11th inning, it was declared that if the National League doesn't score in their half of the 11th, the game would be a tie. It was announced during the public address system, and fans were not happy. Beer bottles were thrown on the field. Chants of "let them play, let them play, let them play" happened. And of course, Bud must go and rip off. Bud must go. Which is funny because guess what? Bud Selig was actually owner of the Brewers at one point. Unfortunately, the National League couldn't score. Game tied at 7. No MVP was given. Now, of course, a lot of people were like, if the All-Star Game MVP was given, who would have given it to? That's the question. I have no clue. I think Bonds might have gotten it. Anyway, Jason Giambi was the home run champion. Derby champion. Anyway. So, anyway, Ted Williams actually died a few days before the 2002 All-Star Game. So, they painted a number 9 onto the grass in left field to honor the splendid splinter and all that. The Brewers, if Davey Lopes was not fired by the Brewers, he would have been a National League coach. Yeah, so Barry Bonds, that was a 2-run home run. Oh, I thought it was a 2-run single or something like that. Yeah, so the American League somehow had 5 shortstops and 1 second base, which is weird. Omar Vizquel had to play second base. So, anyway. Well, actually, Joe Buck and Tim McCarver actually said that if the American League had won, Paul Konerko would have been MVP. If the National League had it, it was David Miller of the Diamondbacks. So anyway, that was all she wrote. Now, there would be implications after this game. Baseball announced that as of 2003, for many years, whoever won the All-Star Game, American League or National League, would get home field advantage in the World Series, even if your league's representative had less wins than the other team. It sounded like a good idea. I mean, 4 home games out of 4 potential home games in the best of 7 would be huge for that city and all that. So for 14 years, till 2017, they played it that way. Bud Selig would be criticized for many decisions, especially with the Montreal Expos a couple years later. But still, this should have been a showpiece for Bud Selig. In the city, which he became owner, took the Seattle Pilots away from Seattle and made the Brewers decent, and was commissioner too. So yeah, it just didn't work out that way. And maybe if Barry Bonds had hit that home run, maybe things would have been different. But screw Barry Bonds. Anyway, I'm Jeff. I'm going to do